I'm Haroon Rashid. Hey, John. Last week I did something for the first time ever. I went to the cinema by myself. Have you ever done that?
I'm John Stevenson. Haroon, we went together
What?
last week. I went with you.
Awkward. Awkward. Hey,
Right, I'm
sports
off.
fan. Hey, sports fans. Haroon Rashid, Khemeia Consulting, and welcome to Haroon's Hangout, the internationally featured show where we make digital marketing simple, straightforward, and fun. Today, Copyblogger is killing its Facebook page and what this means for marketing, digital marketing in general. And I am joined today by the man, the major, Mr. John friggin' Stevenson. How you doing, John?
Good morning.
Are you still my friend?
Just about, yeah.
I saw Gone Girl. That is a crazy film. That was really good, really good. So, anyway, so we're going to be talking today about how it came out in the news. I think it was last week. Copyblogger are killing their Facebook page, and the whole world just went, "What? What? How come? How come? Why?" And so we're going to be talking a bit about that today. So let's just bring it on the screen right now. It's a really interesting article that came out, and let's see, can you see that now? Here we
Yeah,
go.
can see that.
So basically the story came out that Copyblogger was struggling with their Facebook engagement, and then they reached out to Erica Napoletano, who's a really prolific Facebook marketeer. She's a speaker. I think she goes by the name of Redhead Writing, which is really good. She's done TED Talks and all sorts of stuff. So basically, they went to someone who knows what they're talking about. And this piece is actually written by Erica. And in this, she goes through the whole thing about the strategy that she went through to try and revamp the Facebook page, how it just wasn't very successful, and then obviously the decision that they're going to kill the page. So, in fact, let's talk about where do you want to start, John? I mean, this is huge news. So, I mean, where do you want to start?
On the face of it, it's massive news, isn't it? That such a well-known brand as Copyblogger, well, certainly for marketeers anyway, has taken a brave decision to can Facebook. Initially, from the headline, it makes you scratch your head a bit, but when you read the article and Erica's thoughts in terms of why it was canned and the rationale behind that, it actually makes perfect sense. So I think, where should we start? I think we should start at the top and work our way down the article, Haroon. Just cover the main points.
So, absolutely. Well, there on the screen as well, that is Erica Napoletano.
So she's, sorry, I was going to hop in and say that on the face of it, they had 38,000 fans. Now, that's one hell of a following, but she makes a great point about fan numbers mean jack. So she looked into it and she put a Sherlock Holmes magnifying glass up and discovered that a lot of those fans were actually junk fans. So they had no personal status, no activity, and effectively they just belonged to click farms. So she took a step back and scratched her head and thought, okay, well, that's going to damage the brand. It's going to damage visibility. It's going to damage posts that are put on Facebook and with their algorithms. And there's a wonderful video in the top bit of the article that backs up her point about Facebook fraud.
Yeah, here we go. That's the Facebook fraud video, that the post. But yeah, I mean, let's just stay on that point really quickly, because a lot of people say, "Oh, well, I've got 1,000 Facebook fans, or I've got this many fans, and all that kind of stuff." And like you just said there, and Erica's talked about now, the number of fans doesn't mean anything. Or like she said, number of fans doesn't mean jack. It really doesn't matter, because a lot of these fans that they had were fake accounts. And she goes into this whole thing about how to tidy it up and how you're left with what you presume are going to be your actual fans, your real fans. But I mean, at 38,000, you'd have thought that there'd have been quite a lot of volume to work with after the cleanup. And then after that, then she goes, let's talk about social media strategy.
Yeah.
So she was here saying that, well, you can see it on the screen. She goes, Her job was to evaluate the fans of the page, assess the fans' content preferences and build a strategy around that, and then explore the possibility of creating a culture of regular, enthusiastic participation, which is what Copyblogger were doing on other platforms. So, do you want to jump in here, John, and just talk a bit about that?
Yeah, she makes a very rational point, and when you think about it, it should be the building block at the center of a content strategy that not every social media platform is an ideal fit. So what do we mean by that? Well, just focus on engagement, and it's about your product and service and engaging people via Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, YouTube. But she makes two really salient points. The first one is that if the audience is not engaging on a social media platform, well, just don't pour any energy into it. Put it to one side, move on. And the second thing she puts is she refuses to tell a business to spend time and effort for something you're not going to get payback from. So it comes back to previous things we've talked about with regard to return on investment, Haroon.
Yeah, like just down here on that last point that you made there, she says, how do brands figure out where to best spend their time? And the last sentence you can see there, it's not our job to tell our audience where we live, it's to grow communities where they live, emphasizing where they live. Yeah. And that is a huge mistake that a lot of people do. They kind of say, well, we are this company, we're going to be on Twitter, so that means you've got to come to us. And they've missed the point. The point is that you've got to go where your community is. You've got to go and reach them where they want to be reached on their terms. It's not on your terms. So this is really interesting. I'm actually going to bring up her Facebook page as well. I mean,
whilst you're doing that, Haroon, I was just going to add in that the bottom line is that a company needs to, it's the company's responsibility to know what is useful to their audience in terms of content. And that quote that you've just mentioned backs that point up. But certainly with Copyblogger, I mean, check this out. This is where their audience is. So on Twitter, they're following a mere 36 people, but yet they've got 18.6 thousand followers. Wow. How about that? On Google Plus, they've got 15,000 people in their circles. Check this. In terms of views and visits, they're almost up at 5 million now. Which backs a point up to can Facebook. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I was just bringing up her Facebook page, Erica's Facebook page, just to kind of show that she's got 27,600 fans there. So she does know what she's talking about. She seems to be getting a lot of engagement from her stuff. The thing that Erica and Copyblogger have in common, and you've just said it, is that they are not short of content or excellent content that they're sharing. So, like you said, I mean, Copyblogger, let's stick with Copyblogger. Copyblogger have got their fair amount of content.
Yeah.
They've got engaged fans on Twitter, Google Plus, and wherever else that they do their stuff. I'll just take that off the screen now. So it all came down to content, really. But for some reason, and we found this, and this is the segue into the next part, we even found as well that as a B2B business, it didn't really work for us either. Now, I'm not saying we had as many fans as Copyblogger did, but the content that we had, we do have, is great, and it works on different platforms. But for some reason, Facebook, people just didn't want to know.
Yeah, I do think as well, social media these days, there's old school thinking and new school thinking, and I think social media now is heading towards more lead generation, Haroon, which is something that we've been banging on about for a long time. So let's go back maybe 3 to 5 years, and old school was just about attracting fans, attracting followers, getting several hundred, your first 1,000, your next 1,000, and just getting that right up there. But certainly over the last 2 to 3 years, the new school of thinking is slightly different. And I think that's where Copyblogger is falling under, the new school of thinking, which is pretty much that think strategically about social media and use it as a lead generation tool. So view followers change them into leads. And the only way you can do that is by producing quality content. And that's what Copyblogger has done. It's got some amazing free content, and it's got some really great high-end quality content that you pay for through subscription.
Haroon's Hangout is presented by the Khemeia Network and Khemeia Consulting, Yorkshire's innovation agency, where we believe that innovation is the key to business growth. And on that point as well, John, I mean, we found that the thing that did get us engagement on Facebook was when we were posting pictures of us having fun. Yeah. And doing fun things around the office. Now, that's part of our brand, absolutely. You know, we do a lot of fun stuff. We do have a lot of fun. There's a certain element of entertainment to what we do. Fine. But is that going to get us any leads? And this is what we were weighing up. Now, we could definitely spend time and energy making a very entertaining brand, you know, and get loads of likes and comments and shares if we're going to do really funny stuff. But is that going to make us any money? If we were an entertainer, it would work, but we're not. We're an innovation agency, and you've got to kind of have that balancing act of, okay, well, how much fun stuff do you do, and how much time do you apportion to that? Is it going to make any leads? And this is the kind of balancing act, and that's why we've kind of our Facebook page isn't very active at the moment. I know we've got a new content system that's going to be released in November 2014. In case you're watching this in 2015 or whatever. And we may revisit our Facebook page, but apportioning time, entertainment, you know, and then, you know, lead generation, that's just a really delicate balancing act you've got to get right there.
Yeah, it is. What it comes down to is a business's understanding of what is lead generation. So in theory, my definition of lead generation is generate, capture interest about your product and service, and develop a sales pipeline. Now, it depends how you look at social media in order to do that. And social media, certainly we've changed our strategy with it now. It's more geared to lead generation than perhaps it was 12, 18 months ago. Would you agree, Haroon?
Oh, yeah, totally. Let me ask you something then, John. Do you think that Copyblogger did the right thing by killing the Facebook page?
In a word, yes.
Yeah, I do as well. And I'm not going to say whether we're going to kill our Facebook page. Not that it would be reported as much as, you know, Copybloggers, but I'm not going to say as to what we're going to be doing with our Facebook page. The answer is we just don't know yet. All right, we're just still kind of working this out and deciding whether Facebook will be a good platform for us. But, you know, if you're a B2B business and you're watching this show, if you've got a Facebook page that's working for you for a B2B, not B2C, B2B, we'd love to hear from you and let us know your thoughts on how you've made it work, and what do you think? Do you think that Copyblogger did the right thing by killing its Facebook page? We'd like to hear from you. So you need to use hashtag Haroon's Hangout, and we'd love to hear from you on that. Well, I think that we're going to leave it there today, guys. So thanks very much for watching. We will be back next week, Wednesday, 9 a.m. UK time. That's Haroon's Hangout, where we make digital marketing simple, straightforward, and fun. So thanks a lot for coming on the show, John.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you soon. Take care, sports fans.